Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 191 of the NZXT Podcast, almost 200 of the official podcast in NZXT community. This podcast is recorded live Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the official NZXT Twitch and is available to stream on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. My name is Mike, and with me, as always, is Ivan. How are you doing, Ivan?
How it do, baby boo? I'm happy to be back on another episode of the world famous NZXT podcast. Today is going to be a very special episode because we have two very special guests here from the NZXT product team to talk with us about our new elite gaming gear lineup, which includes a brand new keyboard, brand new mouse, brand new microphone, brand new mouse pads. They're awesome. And for those of you who are tuned in live right now on twitch.tv/NZXT, you're in for a treat. You can type exclamation giveaway in the chat and you'll get a link to a giveaway. And that reminds me, I have to update, I have to update something on the giveaway. You'll get a link to a giveaway, and if you stick around to the end of the show, you will get a secret word, which will give you a bunch of bonus entries into the giveaway. Also, for those of you who are members of the NZXT Club, if you connect your Twitch account to the club and you stick around for 30 minutes, you will get a whopping 2,500 Poochie points. And if you don't know what the NZXT Club is, go to nzxt.co/club and sign up. You get access to exclusive giveaways that we don't give out anywhere else, only to club members. You can win a bunch of cool gear. And if you're also a member of the Discord server at discord.gg/nzxt, every day we do fun quest and Poochie point drop, so you can get a bunch of rewards that way too. So now that that's out of the way, let me introduce our special guests here. We have Jason and Janice. Welcome to the NZXT podcast.
Hey everyone. Hello. Good to be here.
Hi.
Jason has been on here before. Janice has not. So, Jason, for those who don't know, who didn't tune into the previous time you were on, who are you and what do you do at NZXT?
Yeah, so as I said, my name's Jason. I'm the product guy here for gaming gear. So I look after and stir through all the gaming products we have here at NZXC. So that's keyboards, mice, microphones, mouse pads, and headsets.
Nice. And how about you, Janice?
My name is Janice. I'm the product marketing specialist here, and I work on product positioning, messaging, and all the go to market content. I work on gaming gear, and also I will be working on the components too.
Nice. Two very important people with two very important jobs here. Jason, what did you do before you joined NZXT?
Developing gaming products. Been doing this for the last 14 years. Worked at some of our competitors, some companies that I'm sure everybody knows in the chat here. So I've just been ingrained in developing keyboards, mice, headsets, mouse pads, and now microphones for a good amount of time now.
And how about you, Janice? What did you do before you joined NZXT?
I also worked at a competitor, but I did a different job than what I was doing now, so kind of jumped around within the industry and finally found the job that I love. So very happy for that.
Oh, we're happy you're here too. Like I mentioned, we have a lot of products to talk about, and we're going to start with my personal favorite, which is the new NZXT Function Elite Mini TKL keyboard. But before we get into the details, Mike, can you please just show everyone the video?
Oh, yeah. Awesome. This is honestly one of the coolest like keyboards I've ever used. I'm gonna be honest.
It's definitely the best one we've made, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I don't know who to ask this question to. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't know, Jason, Janice, you two can fight over who's gonna answer. But what are the main features and specs of the Function Elite Mini TKL?
You want me to take that, Janice? Sure.
No, you can take it.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, as you all saw from the video and that Mike's holding up right now, let's talk about the looks first, right? Very durable design build. Of course, it's got a splash and a ton of RGB, so each individual key on the keyboard can be programmed to any color. And then we have this 360-degree kind of lighting ring that goes around the keyboard that has 45 individual LEDs. So within our CAM software, you basically can load up a bunch of different presets, get a light show going on your keyboard. So a lot of flash to it, but it's got a lot of good build quality features with the aluminum case ring around the side, and then the internal components as well. It really all starts with the our custom made adjustable magnetic switches. And then you pair that with, sand dampening foam, tape mod, gasket mount design, really leads to not only a great looking keyboard, but also a really pleasant keyboard to type on.
And Mike's showing everyone what you can do there with Cam. So
Nice.
what what are the major differences between this new keyboard and our previous two models that we that we made? Because this is not the first keyboard we've made. This is actually the third one, right?
Yeah, I didn't work here as long as Jason did, but I know like the top features that are different are like we have new switches, the magnetic switches versus our older ones. To construction, it's using a gasket mount construction. We have custom stabilizers in it, and the features like rapid trigger and snap overrides, just as like a little overview.
Yeah, I think it's an evolution, right? As I mean, it's like the same thing we did in cases, right? We just kind of slowly built up to, really kind of battling that number one share in the world of having the most popular cases. So, with our keyboards, we set the foundation here, but every release we just want to keep growing on that, getting the feedback from reading the forums, the chat, doing going to events as well, and then kind of just we just want to continue to evolve our keyboards based on the feedback we get from the community.
Yeah, so kind of want to go a little bit into that, like what sets this keyboard apart from like the other keyboards? Like why should someone decide to get the Function Elite Mini TKL?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. Having I kind of alluded it at the beginning of being a part of keyboard development for a long time now, and having had a really unique opportunity, to work with great engineers at SteelSeries in the development of the first keyboard that featured adjustable magnetic switches, the Apex Pro in 2019. We wanted to, just a phenomenal keyboard, and I really and the team really wanted to look at of how can we build upon that, with this switch technology. And that really, led us to brainstorm, okay, what can we do with the switch? How can we make that interaction with the magnet and the Hall effect sensor even better? So, our excellent engineering team kind of evolved it. And, we looked at, stronger magnets in the stem of the switch, going from a typical 700 gauss to a 905 gauss sensor, just allows us to read those signals better. That's just going to give you more precision and more accuracy when you decide to adjust it. And then that's built on the adjustable actuation, and that means you're going to have a better experience with rapid trigger. You're going to have a better experience with snap overrides. So it was just this constant evolution that we really wanted to continue to kind of push this whole keyboard industry further and not get stagnant.
Yeah, I absolutely. As someone that has had the original Function, and like a bunch of other keys beforehand, I do notice the difference, especially for someone that I know there's a lot of people like me that are playing Marvel Rivals right now, and
Yep.
I feel the difference whenever I'm trying to actually like trying to move left or right. Like I can feel the difference of it. And I know there's a lot of stuff in cam I'm going to show off. Like there's a ton of stuff that we just talked about, which is like rapid trigger, snap overrides. I'm going to show us off in cam, but can you go over like all these like specific things that I'm showing? Like, yeah, we could do like the RGB, and that's very cool, but like, what is rapid trigger and this release sensitivity to 40-point actuation, snap overrides? Like, why should people decide like, oh, what can I mess with this in cam?
Janice, you want to tackle that?
You can go for it. I'm worried
Okay.
I'll fumble my words.
No, all good. So adjustable actuation, you want to be able to, I think there's two things with adjustable actuation. You want to be able to set what's going to work best for you based on how fast you type, what games you're playing. So you want to have that full range of adjustable actuation. Um, you know, for a scenario like if it's Overwatch or even Counter Strike, you may want to set a couple keys to be, really light pressed, like your WASD, where you can hover over the keys at like the 0.6, so you don't actually have to press them or bottom them out. But you may have a key, like, for me when I'm playing Counter Strike 2, Q is your previous weapon, and I hit a lot because that's how I rotate between weapons instead of reaching for, in the number row. So I like to set that recall to the last weapon to be a little bit more of a deep, deliberate press. You can do the same thing with like your ultimate and Overwatch. So it gives you that flexibility to do things like that. And then the second part with adjustable actuation is we spent a lot of time. I talked previously about the um, the the magnet and the next generation Hall sensor we use there. But we wanted to make sure these values that are displayed in the software are extremely accurate. So when you go up and down in the actuation point, you've had verifiable actuation right off the factory line that these are the true physical um, distances that you're going to get when you set it in the software. So it's extremely accurate. You set it to 4.0, you're going to have to mash this thing pretty good and bottom it out, because that's how far it takes to get to the bottom of the switch. You set it to 0.6, you're basically hovering over the key to get it to actuate there. So there's a huge advantage if you jump into this. I say huge advantage, but we're talking about small little gains here that could make a difference while you're playing there. Rapid trigger, being able to really mess with the make and break point, as you're moving, in games and your movements, snap overrides. Something definitely you want to, full disclaimer, right? You want to check with your game to make sure it's allowed so it doesn't kick you out like it will in Counter Strike 2. So that basically allows you to reset your strafe point back and forth as your movement. So you don't have any additional movement as you're going from left or right. So these advancements, but those two features with snap overrides and rapid trigger aren't necessarily new from what you've heard about, but we have a slightly different take on it because of the accuracy of the switches. We just want to, again, performance and accuracy. We want to enhance those two features, and then you do, like you said, you can do all the fun RGB stuff to show off.
So you're basically guaranteeing everyone who plays Counter Strike with this will become Master Guardian Elite, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, they're going to be, when they play Premier, they're going to be 20,000 plus in the ranking. They're going to get all the medals. Yeah, they're gonna get it all.
All right.
I see Dynasty in chat says you can adjust all this per key. Yes, I'm actually showing. So I just used the preset because I did not. But yes, you can do each key specifically. Like you want WASD to be a specific one. You want your reload to be a fast one. Your Q and E, tab, space bar. You can change every single key to your own liking. I just made the presets because I'm lazy, but you can do this all by yourself. And this is actually one of the coolest things.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to call out the presets, like for those who don't really know what to do and just want like a starting place. Those are amazing. You can just check it out. You can adjust it honestly. Like if you feel like it's a little too sensitive or not sensitive enough. Honestly, when I was playing, I think I got my keyboard when like Deadlock came out, so I had it open in like one monitor and I had the game running on the other one. So I was just playing with it the whole time. I also play with a bunch. I play like Osu and like those rhythm games, and I feel like certain features like rapid trigger and like the sensitivity really do make a difference when you're playing rhythm games, like high intensity games. So definitely play with it. You'll find the setting that's perfect for you.
So cool. Also, I do want to point out Snap Override. For those that don't know, it's basically like it's great for like strafing.
Yeah.
I do want to point out that just be careful using it in certain games because it can get you banned or like punished for doing it. We want to be we actually got some pretty cool bonus credits because we actually have a warning here that labels like, hey, just be careful. Make sure that the game you're playing does or doesn't allow Snap Override. So we just want to throw that out there as like a hey, be careful because it's too good sometimes.
It's also disabled by default, so don't worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What would you say inspired the overall design of this keyboard?
Yeah, I think we wanted to, you'll see it if you look at it in totality of all the products within this new, and whoever came up with the EGG line is great. I hadn't heard that until 2 days ago, so it's probably one of you two, I think, here or somebody. But anyways,
Actually,
so
Rudy in the
overall,
chat.
was it?
It's actually Rudy in the chat. He just
Oh,
one day he's like, I just realized Elite Gaming Gear is egg.
yeah.
Just stuck with it.
No,
So
that's really great because when it comes to the design, right, is we the design team at NZXT wanted to take this in totality of designing all the products together and then usher in kind of a more new era based on feedback we have, the evolution of the products. So, you're seeing it's a very simplistic but feature packed design to it, and so really a lot of focus on we wanted to pack that performance in there, but also have it be purpose built with durability. Like, the aluminum ring around it and the casing looks super nice. But when you get this keyboard and pick it up, it has a good heft to it, and it has literally no zero flex. So it looks good, but also gives you durability advantage it as well. So we kind of looked at we just don't want to put anything in there that is just to have it in there to look good. It's got to be multi-purpose for sure.
And like I was saying earlier, this is not the first keyboard NZXT has made. I'm curious, how did feedback from the community influence the development process of this keyboard?
We look at everything, right? So it's looking at, we just launched this, right? We're looking at every single review, every single comment. I'll go back after this and rewatch the video to see what all the comments are in this section. We have a lot of internal gamers within NZXT as well. So all these products are internally tested, and we send out surveys to get feedback of them. We do user panels outside of NZXT with a large group of panel to get information. And we're just following trends, future thinking, what could be out there as well. So there's, the part of product development, there's all these different areas that you want to look back at the community, and every feedback from positive to negative is something we take in, process, debate, talk about it, and then see how we want to move forward with that feedback.
And I know the name of this keyboard is function, but how do you balance form and function when designing a keyboard like this?
Very tough, and that's why we have like our design team that was on this is top notch, because they have to take a brief and really apply all those characteristics to it. So it's a tough item, and you really never know, I don't think, until you get it, until you see it, or until how it's how customers react to it.
I think balancing form and function really means to avoid any extremes. Like, we don't want to make a keyboard that's overly complicated in design
Yep.
that hinders usability. And then we don't want any really extremely utilitarian designs. So we know certain brands that lean towards one direction and lean towards another, but we really want to meet in the middle to make something like everyone would like. Gamers will like this, non-gamers will like this. It will look great sitting on your desk. In terms of form, like the details such as like the sleek aesthetic, minimal design, all that kind of stuff. And for form, it's like we think about the little things, like even like the little side grips on the side of the keyboard. It's like there's a rubberized texture and like there's like a little lip in the aluminum, like that allows you to pick up the keyboard easier, and that was done on purpose. There's 3 angles of tilt, so whoever wants to have it at a certain angle, we allow that, and especially the mini TKL layout. It's perfect for anyone who wants more desk space. The use of FN keys, make sure you have all the keys readily available, you're not missing out. So we think about all these like little things and try to balance everything.
Yeah, I like the point about the keys, right? The mini TKL has the same exact number as all the same keys as a TKL, but depending on what TKL you have, it's about an inch to an inch and a half, not as depending on how you not as wide or shorter. So it gives you more space on your desk. A lot of games that we see people play, right, have in the function row have kind of presets there, and a TKL they can be a little bit or a regular full size keyboard can be a little bit of strain to reach those, or you need to reprogram those. But by shrinking the form factor, you're going to get access to all those keys in a smaller package. So there's nothing you're sacrificing from a form standpoint.
So I kind of want to go a little bit for those that are like want to get into more like product development. Like, what was like something surprising about when you guys were making this keyboard and getting all this feedback and criticisms and trying to figure out what to do for this function elite? Like, what was like the most surprising thing that you guys learned or did during the actual development of the keyboard?
Yeah, for this particular keyboard, it's really how fast technology can evolve. When we talk about, the evolution of, report rates and polling rates and how fast that's moving right now, with Gatoron coming out with the dual rail switch, during the development of this product, and then being able to have to react to that, and then on top of what we did with them on customizing it. So I think that's always a big challenge is as you're working through development, there's always new things being developed, new things coming out. So you have to look at and decide what's going to be beneficial and what people are going to want to use, or how is it going to solve problems. So with this keyboard, because when you develop your own custom switch and all the testing and the validation that's required, it does extend the development cycle, and then how does that technology line up within the development. So that was a particular huge challenge on this keyboard that our engineers had to work through constantly with this. And yeah, I would say like for this one, that's the one that kept me up at night the most during development for this.
Cool. And I guess what was like your fate? Since you kind of talked about the challenge part, like the hard part about this, what was like the fun and like favorite part of when you guys were making this keyboard?
Yeah, one thing that distinctly jumps out to me is that, you know people say, oh, this is another keyboard, a magnetic keyboard, right? And then when you can, and I think we've all on this call experienced this in person, is like once you hand someone this keyboard, they kind of look at you and kind of give you a little smile and go, you know, holy crap, this thing is built very, very well. It's got a little bit of heft to it. I think that's what makes everything worth it to me, is just to kind of see the grin on people's faces, or their first reaction when they see the keyboard in person. It's something that you got to see this thing in person. I don't you know The pictures are freaking awesome. Team did a great job of portraying this and what Janice did, but nothing surpasses like seeing this keyboard in person and picking it up. And Janice mentioned some of those little unique things about texture there. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
that's my best thing.
I actually couldn't believe it was our keyboard the first time I picked it up because I've even used the original NZXT keyboard, which we made like in 2014 in collaboration with Ducky.
Mm.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that was before the function keyboards, and like what I loved about that keyboard was actually the weight of it and just how sturdy it was. It was just one solid piece of aluminum, and I missed that feeling with the function 1 and function 2, but now with the function elite, when I first picked it up, it just reminded me of that original Ducky, and I was like, oh yeah, I love this feeling. All right, so now that we have all those features and specs out of the way, I'm gonna ask you the $1,000,000 question here. Who do you think this keyboard is for?
It's really made for everyone. I know we say that a lot, but yeah, competitive gamers, casual gamers, even like mechanical keyboard enjoyers, really anyone who wants something that's high performance, something that's built well, in a smaller form factor. Like the form factor and design and RGB customization really open up way to all different types of aesthetics and vibes. Like I personally do not like the super edgy gamer computer. Like I come from the world of mechanical keyboards. So having this computer or having this keyboard, it looks great on my desk. It performs very well. I play a bunch of games, rhythm games, FPS games, all sorts of like MOBAs, and honestly, it's perfect for all the genres. Definitely try it out.
You hear that, Mike? It's for you.
It's for me.
Yeah, it's for you, it's for
Yeah. Yeah, like
everyone.
very specifically, how do you think this keyboard is going to improve the user experience for a gamer, a streamer, a content creator? Like, how do you see this keyboard improving those things?
I think it's all the customization in cam. Like it really just opens up like all the fine tuning you can do. Like if you don't like a setting, you could just easily like disable it or adjust it on the go.
Okay, and what would you say excites you the most about how customers are gonna react to this keyboard once they actually get their hands on it?
That smile when they pick it up for the first time. That's what's gonna do it for me. Yeah, it's yeah, you just gotta try it out.
I should have taken a selfie when I picked it up. You would have loved it. All right. What do you think is the best feature or spec on this keyboard? Each of you have to answer that question for me.
And you will answer it, and Mike as well.
Yeah,
All
everyone
y'all.
has to go.
Yeah, I'll go last.
Hmm. I'm trying to
All right, Jan.
think my favorite feature. I mean, I'm typing this in chat right now, but I used to be a full size. Like I always needed a number pad on every single one of my keyboards because I'm like, oh, why would I not want why would I pay more or pay the same for a keyboard that gives me less like options? Like that sounds stupid. And then after playing with it very, I've been playing a lot of Rivals recently. Like I almost have like 100 hours already in this game. I understand
Jeez.
why mini TKLs are a thing, and even like smaller ones. I used to with my full size, I used to, when I would move my mouse, I would physically like hit my keyboard sometimes. So I would just randomly just bump into it, and I would screw up my aim, but two, I would destroy my keyboard after a while. Like there'll be like literal like dents in it. And then after now, I don't think I even think about hitting my keyboard. I actually think I hit my mouse off the mouse pad more than ever actually hitting the keyboard itself. So that, I think after switching to mini TKL, it's kind of hard for me to not go
That's user error though, Mike. You can't blame that on the keyboard.
that.
All right, Janice, how about you? What's your favorite feature or spec?
I think my favorite feature is the snap overrides and and the rapid trigger and all the adjustable actuation. Like again, I play a lot of different games and just playing with the settings. Like I play this Korean rhythm game called DJ Max. So it's like you use 6 buttons and like just rapid trigger makes such a huge difference because the grading for that game is intense. Like you have to be within like the millisecond to hit the perfect, and I felt like after using this keyboard, I'm like, wow, I'm so much better at the game, even though I'm pretty bad, but it made me feel like I was better. And that's all we need.
That's all you need. All right, Jason, how about you?
Adjustable actuation, of course. I think what I really love what we did with this keyboard, a part of that adjustable actuation, I mentioned it previously, but we measure and have accurate physical distances of the range of our actuation point that are repeatable, and the extra mile that our team went to make sure that every single keyboard off the line is calibrated to that specification. um you know it's just technical stuff, but as I'm playing CS2 and now with the new season, is it just gives me the confidence that I know what I set is going to be there and ready for me.
Thank you, guys. I do see we have a lot of questions or questions and comments about the microphone in the chat. I promise we will get to the microphone soon, but I do want to cover the mouse first because keyboards and mice go hand in hand. Get it, Mike? That was a joke.
That was bad.
That's a good joke.
All right, before we start getting into that keyboard and mouse stuff, Mike, please roll the video, show everyone what we're talking about here.
I love that. I have a lot to say about this mouse. We'll first go into this, but wow, this mouse is awesome. So first, let's talk about like what the actual mouse is. So can you guys go over like the features and specs of the mouse? I'll go over it on my side as well to show like the weight and all the stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, at the highest level, it's an ultralight gaming mouse, 57 grams. It's using optical switches with zero debounce, which is going to give you a nice clicking experience and no misclicks. Using 26K DPI sensor, but understanding that most people are going to be in either between the 400 and 1000 range for the DPI, so definitely optimized. 4K polling rate, wirelessly, and then up to 70 hours of battery life, and then fully customizable within CAM to give you the top level stuff. The little minute details as well is really nice textured rubber side grips to give you the grip. It does come with grip tape if you even want to grip this thing up even more. So just a really solid all around wireless gaming mouse to complement the keyboard.
So
Ready to see we have a few questions about the mouse here. The cheesy dad asks, really? Battery life up to 70 hours? What do you have to say about that, Jason?
Yeah, continuous use. So the rated there is at 1000 hertz polling rate, you'll get up to 70 hours, and basically you're going to see that because it's rated as almost swiping as fast as you can for 70 hours straight. Of course, I didn't do that, or Janice didn't do that, a robot did that. Um, but yeah, so yeah, 70 hours is we're happy with that battery
That
life.
gives me a great idea for TikTok video, Mike. Just use swiping your arm for 70 hours straight. That'd be awesome.
That's torture.
Yeah. Also, I see another comment in here. It says, from Fernando TV. What is the maximum DPI?
26,000.
If you
You'll
have
be
a
able to set it in 100 DPI increments, all the way from 100.
if you have 26,000, if you actually use 26 DPI, I need to see you using that because I'm at 500, as you can see right here. Like I'm at 500. If you use 26,000, I literally just need to see you actually using it because that's insane.
Functioning.
Yeah, because like here, you know
You have to
what?
do something with it.
Okay, I'm using my mouse right now. I'm gonna go up to 26,000. I don't know where my mouse is. Okay, here it is. I am literally here's my mouse. I'm literally not even touching it. How do you use this? Why is 26,000 even needed? That's insane.
Those are like those flick shots on CS:GO, I guess.
Tiny mouse pads they used to sell. You're playing it like Starbucks.
That's what it's for.
Since
You'll
you're
definitely
already showing the cam app there, like what can you do in the cam app with this
I need to
mouse?
change my DPI.
Change your DPI.
I'm trying.
That's what you can do.
See your
Oh.
battery life. What else?
Yeah,
you
your
guys-
lift off distance control as well. If you're somebody that's, constantly picking up and putting back down the mouse, you definitely want to dial it into a low lift off distance, because you don't want any unnecessary movement or jitter as you're picking it up and putting it back down. So you want to go with like the lowest lift off distance possible, to make sure that, especially when it's all muscle memory, you don't have any unwarranted movement there.
I also just want to point out, I was at 45% before we showed the video. I just plugged it in where I'm already at 50%. I just want to throw it out there. The battery charging on this thing is insane, and you get was it 15 minutes is or no, yeah, 15 minutes is about 15 hours of playtime. Like I just charged it for like 2-3 minutes, and when I was talking, it's already at 50%, or he gained like 5. This is insane.
Yeah. And I do see a few questions in the chat about the mouse. We'll get to those at the end of the show because we do want to go down our list of questions for the product here.
Mhm.
So, same question I asked with the keyboard here. What are the differences between the Lift Elite wireless mouse and the Lift 1 and the Lift 2 that we made in the past?
So I one of them was just, I'll kind of circle back, was like the feedback question, right? Is we got a lot of like, why aren't you guys doing a wireless mouse? And so that really propelled us for this next generation to do wireless. So the previous generation, we've only done wired mice up to this time. So it was really big for us to throw out that first introduction into wireless. I think that's the main difference.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other smaller improvements we did, like the texture on the shell, the side buttons are larger, the way we did the grip. Like, there's so many little details we can go on and on about that.
I've absolutely that was one thing I wanted to say. As someone that had a wired mouse, I never thought about, because I always thought, I was like, oh, I'm about to forget the charge, or my battery's gonna die during a game or something like that. I don't want to deal with it. After using wireless, my life is completely changed. Like and actually, it's funny enough because right before I got the Lift wireless, I was using a wired mouse, and during my time of actually playing Rivals, I would actually like kind of roll over the wire as I'm gaming because I'm trying to like move around and stuff. And I was like, God, this is so annoying, because this is like the first time it's really happened because I'm playing a hero shooter. Got the Lift wireless, immediately just completely forgot about it. And it's something I think people should start to transition to, because wireless mice are amazing. I'm also at 54%. It already gained 10% charge.
We're
I
gonna
do
need an
like
update
those
every
mouse
10 minutes.
bungees, though.
Oh, the
You guys
mouse
use those?
bungees?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need, but after using this, it's like you don't need to pay for an extra thing just to do it. It's so nice.
I just like
That's
having
one.
a little bungee cord on my desk.
That's one thing. Like, you sometimes, if you've never used a wireless mice and you go to something wireless, you you actually probably sometimes need to like recalibrate your DPI of what you use, because and also the wireless mice feel lighter, even though if they're physically heavier than a wireless mouse, wired mouse, because that cable is gone. So you kind of, there is a little bit of a learning period, but once you get rid of that cord, it's, it's so much better, especially for high paced games where you're lifting and swiping constantly.
So we kind of want to go, since we're kind of talking about all these like cool features on it. Like what sets this part mouse apart from like the other ones? I see someone here says they had like a Razor Death Adder and stuff like that. Like, how does this set apart from the other mice out there?
Yeah, I'll throw it out there and just talk about the form factor to start with. Um, you know, when we're looking at gaming mouse, everybody wants to have something that's very comfortable in your hand, because you're going to be playing for hours at a time, working, at your setup, all day long. So you want something extremely comfortable. And you know we did a lot of evaluation through all the mice that people are using out there, all the touch points, how it lays in their hands. And then as we start doing the industrial design development, doing foam models, shaving them, having a bunch of gamers come in and do blind tests and put their hand on it, things like that, is we really want to fine tune that comfort and shape to it. And then we take the overall shape, and then we put on things like, on like double shot textured rubber side grips. Janice mentioned something that I'm really proud of this mice, is that we've used a new technique for the texture of the top of the mouse. So traditionally mice are either just plastic, or they're painted texture on there. We have this new process where we call laser textured. So the texture on there isn't actually painted, it's texturized in the actual mold at the factory. And so this process took, you know, countless samples of the mice to refine, constant modification of the tool. But at the end of the day, what we got in, and I talked about the keyboard you want to pick up, you want to feel. The mouse is the same way. It's got a very unique, subtle texture on it that is really pleasant and comfortable to have in your hand. And because it's not painted on, or just kind of a raw plastic, it adds to this like next level of durability, because it's built into the mouse, it's not applied on top of the mouse. So those little really small nuances are definitely something of why you want to get your hand on this thing, to at least try it out and see if it works for your grip style.
I didn't even
Yeah,
notice that.
Yeah,
I feel like
I came from a Razor Viper and a Lamzu Atlantis, and those mice I play games every day, so the Razor Viper literally has a hole on the side for the grip. Like I dug a hole in the rubber because I probably grip my mouse too hard from all like I used to play a lot of Valorant, so a lot of like stressful shooting moments. So I dug a hole into the sides. I haven't done that yet for the Lift Elite, so that's very impressive already. And the mice, after you use mice for a while, they start to get kind of like shiny, like their paint rubs off and it gets really sleek and it's not that great. It just gets very slippery and like, yeah, you can just end up throwing your mouse. But that has never happened with the Lift Elite. It's so textured, I've never accidentally let it go, and I feel like it's pretty durable compared to the competitors.
and I know you said you play games every day and never during working hours, because I know your boss is in the chat here, right? Right, Janice?
Yeah, right, yeah, yeah.
All
Haha.
right,
She's
what
she's
was
doing
the
product research.
Oh yeah, I need a
yeah,
test.
yeah.
Yep.
Um Question for you. What was like the most challenging thing you experienced while working on this mouse?
I would say it's the weight, and then being able to get the weight exactly on target, that will allow it to be the most comfortable. And then within the weight, it's about, really looking at every single component internally of the mouse, to not only make sure that it's as light or as thin as possible, but it still maintains NZXT standards of quality and industry standards of quality. So that's a huge challenge of when you're looking at those two things, and then to put that on top of that is how do you manage that weight within the body of the mouse to make sure the center of gravity is completely aligned, especially when you have a battery. So there's so much that goes into weight, getting the correct weight, what that weight actually feels like in your hand when you're using it and picking up is just a huge challenge that is sometimes often overlooked. If you're just saying, hey, we're going to make a 40-gram mouse, you put everything in there, you don't worry about distribution, battery size, things like that. It's a huge challenge to get the weight where it's at, but then also have that weight be impactful of the way it actually feels when you pick it up.
And what would you say was the most surprising thing you learned while developing this mouse?
Hmm. So very surprising with this mouse, I would say, is just the weight and the preference people have for weights. We sort of already knew this going into it because of all the research we did, but some people, hey, this mouse is way too light or this mouse is way too heavy, is that it's very polarizing when we talk about weight. So we wanted to make sure that we found a weight that's going to be applicable for the greatest amount of gamers and people out there.
And I'm going to ask you the same $1 million question I asked about the keyboard. Who do you think this mouse is for?
Anyone. It's the same answer. It's really for everyone. Like, that's the goal of NZXT. That's the beauty of it. We really try to make products that are perfect for everyone. Like the weight, we didn't want something too light. Of course, yeah, there's other brands that make like probably like a 30-gram mouse, but that's their thing, not our thing.
Would would you say this mouse is also for Laurent?
Yes.
Okay. Just
And for
checking.
chinchillas. They can also use this mouse, I'm sure. It's probably the size of half a chinchilla. So maybe they will use two mice. They have two hands.
I wonder how much a chinchilla weighs compared to this mouse. How many
You can
grams?
Google that.
Yes.
The
Is that a
average weight of
contest?
All right,
half
we
a
got through the
chinchilla.
keyboard, we got through the mouse. Let's get into the Capsule Elite. Mike, can you roll the mic video, please? See what I did there?
I hate that.
I love it.
All right, now we're on to the Capsule Elite. So let's go ahead and go into the features and specs of this Capsule Elite. Let's see. Pull it up right here. All right, go for it.
Yeah, a couple things I'm really proud of what the team was able to accomplish with this mic is take some emerging technology that we just saw come out in the market within the last year. So that's microphones, USB, medium to high end USB microphones that feature 25 millimeter condenser capsules on them, or drivers on them, however you want to 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 talk about it, and then being able to take that and see how we can improve it and make it even better, just like we did with the switches. So the capsule elite is going to feature our own custom 25 millimeter condenser. um, really excited with some of the technical nuances that we were able to develop on this, and specifically around being able to capture your voice in very clear and an intense detail. And we do that with some of the things we did with the physical capsule itself, and then also the materials we used and the coatings we put on the reverse side of the condenser really was a monumental effort to customize it to make sure that at the end part is while you're gaming, your voice is going to be as clear as it can be. Best in class resolution, noise suppressing. There's a lot of really great. I'm sure we'll get into it of the DTS and CAM integration for this mouse that's going to unlock all these advanced features.
Mhm.
If you're an advanced user, you're going to be able to dial it up exactly the way you want to sound for your unique signature there. And then it's just an evolution of our industrial design as well for the way this looks compared to our previous capsule microphones.
Yeah, and I know earlier a few people were actually asking in the chat if we're using the Capsule mic, and we are. We're all using the Capsule Elite.
Yep.
So here's proof. See, you can see it on our cam here. And
Yes, and I have my Cylon mode or Knight Rider mode on the back of the microphone here as well. All can be done through cam.
yeah, and Dynasty Wylin is saying EQ settings. Yes, then yes, you can do that all with our cam software. What else can you do with our cam software?
Yeah, so within Cam, I don't know if you have it pulled up, but there's some images on the web page there. Is that you're gonna have, we have, you're gonna have a very thorough EQ system to be able to really adjust your lows, your mids, your high frequencies. You're gonna have the ability to customize the RGB lighting on the back, and then you know we partnered with DTS on their new platform called DTS Clear Voice. And, as you go in to the software, you're just going to see basically all the advanced features that you would expect from a gaming microphone when it comes from voice equalizers. And I could spend probably half an hour and talk about each one, but basically there's a lot of options out there. So if you are a medium to advanced user and you want to dig in and dive into it, you're going to be able to tweak a lot of things.
Mike, we need you to make a TikTok video singing "Chocolate Rain" into this mic.
I don't know if
Uh,
anyone wants to have a video of me singing anything in general. I think I'd break the
it-
mic too.
Dynasty Wyland said it has DTS. Nice. Yes, it's really nice. I think honestly, like for me, the nicest thing about this mic is the price. To be honest, when we announced it on social media, like the very first comment we got about this was, "How the heck is this cheaper than your previous capsules?" And the reason is because I know the product team really tried their hardest to not only make a good looking, good functioning product, but actually make one that is cheaper. So it's only $90, which is shocking. It was shocking to me when I heard the price, to be honest. But besides the price, what else sets this mic apart from other microphones that are out there?
Uh, you know, I've talked a little bit about I'm going to go back to the 25 millimeter condenser. And then I'm going to I talk about the physical driver of some of the enhancements we made for that. But also, it was really important with that physical driver is that the acoustic spacing within the physical of what you see of the product is correctly spaced. So the our engineers spend a lot of time manipulating through the industrial design, not only what it looks like, but the acoustic signature that comes out because of the enclosure. So that's the shape of the microphone is different than what we had at the previous capsule, and that's just our evolution to really fine tune the audio signature that's going to be outputted from the microphone. So I think there's some pictures um, up that kind of shows a little bit of this, but it's really a big task of something that where we wanted to make sure we went above and beyond to try to just not take a 25 millimeter that just started getting putting into some additional microphones that are, by the way, up in the 150 to $200 range. We have this at 89.99, and then with really optimized acoustic spacing within the design, so you get the full potential out of that the condenser we use.
I also
And
want to, sorry, I
oh
want to
no, go
highlight
ahead.
the usability of the microphone. Like you can use this on um it comes with a stand, which I actually use. I use it on my table, but I think I see you guys using it with a mic arm, so it's compatible with a bunch of mic arms. You can honestly just use it out of the box too. Like you don't have to go through all the cam settings. It comes ready to use out of the box, and that's very great for anyone who just wants something very simple to use. It has a built-in pop filter, so you know you sound great. Like it's just very accessible.
And I know the product team is always listening to feedback. How did the feedback from the community play a role in the development of this mic?
Yeah. So from this is our really our third, I would call it our third generation of microphones. So we received a lot of feedback about the ease of use of the microphone, and we wanted to keep that kind of plug and play um, um, mantra about this, but also we got a lot of feedback of for those power users that wanted the advanced features. So that's why you see, DTS Clear Voice, and that partnership with them on this microphone was to really, give those users kind of that next level of tweaking of their microphone. But also, just like Janice said, is we wanted to keep it very, for 95% of the people, it's going to be plug and play, plug it in and go. So it's got to sound like incredible just from that point of view. And then for the 5%, go in there and and nerd out on this thing, of tweaking all your settings.
So during the so what was like probably I think we said this before, but like what like surprised you? Because I assume like during any sort of product development, there's something that has to come up that you just go like, wait, what? What was like surprising during the actual development of this mic?
Yeah, what's really crazy about this project is that overall it ran extremely smooth, and I attribute that, to the capabilities of our acoustic engineers and our engineers. One thing that did surprise me, is the RGB on the back. That was actually a challenge of itself to get it to look great, but also not interfere with any of the internals for the acoustic sound. So, um, yeah, of all things, RGB on a microphone was a little bit of a challenge there, but pretty smooth sailing on everything else when it came to uh, doing all the custom work on it.
What was your favorite thing about working on this mic?
As soon as I saw what this thing looked like, it was it was like, damn, this is that evolution of form and factor from that the team was going for on EGG. And so yeah, I think just seeing the microphone for the first time of what it physically looked like, instantly got me excited about this project.
Not gonna lie, I was kind of bummed when I first saw it because it didn't have its hands on its hips like the previous capsule mics. But
Yeah, harder to
I
put the
learned to
hair
accept
on it, right?
it. Yeah, I learned to accept it. All right, I'm gonna ask you the same $1 million question. I guess this is $3 million at this point, but who do you think the Capsule Elite is for?
Well, I'm hearing in the chat that people are saying this mic sounds pretty great. So, oh, it's for everyone. Like, you can record your podcast like so. You can play games with your friends. They'll hear you loud and clear. You can also record music. You can do anything with it, really. Also, the little RGB in the back looks great on camera.
That actually is a good point. I do want to get a boom arm just so I can have it like this, like Mike has it, so I can light up the RGB there.
You sound good when it's super close up like that.
Should I sing Chocolate Rain?
Yeah, do it just like that. Go closer.
All right, we covered keyboards, we covered mice, we covered microphones. Now it's time for the moment everyone has been waiting for, mouse pads.
We do not have a
Yay.
video for this one though. I don't know
will-
how cool you can make a mouse pad in video, so I
Well,
understand.
We will make a video for the mouse pad though. It's actually funny because Rudy, who is in the chat here, when he first got the mouse pad a couple of months ago, he accidentally spilled his coffee on it, and then he was like, "Oh crap!" He had just gotten the mouse pad that day, so he was freaking out, and then he wiped it, and it like wiped perfectly clean. So Mike has actually been saving 3 rotten eggs in his fridge for the last 3 months, and he's gonna make a video where he breaks these rotten eggs on the mouse pad to show everyone how easy it is to
I even
clean.
do. I think I will do a little spill. I have some water here, so once we'll go into it. I'll actually show off one of the coolest features, in my opinion.
And I'm not joking. He legit saved 3 rotten eggs for this. He told me he has rotten eggs in his fridge he's been saving just for this mouse pad.
They're
So,
like 2 weeks too old
yes.
already, which means they're like.
You can sell those. In this economy, eggs are expensive.
Mhm.
They actually are. All right. So what are the features of the Zone and Zone Elite?
You know, you've asked the question a couple times, right, for each product about what was our favorite thing about the product. Interesting enough, I want to just add that you know, I get asked a lot, like, of all the products, and I'm not sorry if you're gonna ask this later, but which product do you like the most? And you know, of course, it's not the mouse pad for me, but some people that are really big into mouse pads internally that like use everything. I constantly hear that this is the best mouse pad they've ever used, the Zone Elite. You know, and so that was a little bit surprising when we went through the development of this, but I think it speaks to the work the team did on this mouse pad. And you know, Zone Elite, we've talked a lot about, like, you know, the keyboard, you gotta pick it up and you feel it. The mouse, you gotta pick it, you gotta get it and feel it. The mouse pad, the Zone Elite is the same way. It's got a really unique feel to it. It's a little bit more on the high speed side of it. It's got a nice soft foam base. So this is a little bit of a thicker mouse pad, you know, 4+ millimeters of it. And a lot of the inspiration for this mouse is really in like I don't know how to describe it, the artisan and the kind of niche community, especially out of Japan, that is really into these type of mouse pads. And we took a lot of a lot of inspiration from that, and wanted to do something unique out there. And you know, that led us to you know, this Zone Elite with this, you know, kind of nano knit special fabric. You know. A durable foam that has just the perfect amount of give to it. So as your, you know, your wrist is moving across it, you're picking up and putting down the mouse. It's going to give you a really good feel. So it's by no mistake, right? This is not a cheap mouse pad. This is a high end mouse pad. The price reflects it because, you know, you got to feel it. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be something, a unique experience to play on something of this quality.
Yeah, and I think my favorite thing about the mouse pad is that we actually moved the logo. So if you're right-handed like me, and you had a previous mouse pad, you're we had a big NZXT logo on that right side, and not gonna lie, it actually did get in the way sometimes because it would like protrude a little bit from the mouse pad. So when I would move my hand, it would kind of get stuck there for like a split second, and we learned our lesson. So
Mhm.
it's not there anymore. Yeah.
There it is.
What are the biggest differences between the Zone and Zone Elite mouse pads?
The biggest thing you'll notice is the texture. So Zone Elite is very smooth, very like your mouse will just glide. And then the regular Zone, it's a little bit more balanced, a little bit more textured, just so you have a bit more control. But think about it, if you prefer FPS games, you need the speed, then Zone Elite is your choice. But for anything general purpose, Zone would be a great choice. And Zone comes in white, whereas Zone Elite only comes in black. So if that's something you are looking for, also another thing about the Zone Elite, it has low profile stitching and it is a little thicker too.
And Jason kind of covered this a little bit, but I do want to, I guess, ask like how exactly is this thing optimized for speed, and how exactly does the spill resistant coating work? Because um like you said, I think a lot of people when they use this for the first time, they're like, how the heck is this thing so fast and smooth? So how did you guys figure that out?
It's a lot of evaluation of different surface types. We're not necessarily in we're not experts in fabric, but we are experts on how fabric responds to sensor calibration. So there's a lot of work that goes into making sure that we source and find a texture that meets, all these different parameters. If it's, from how it feels, the give, the repellent of water, how it interacts with the sensor, how it interacts with the sensor at different DPI levels. All these kind of calculations need to be taken into consideration as we select or we fine tune a fabric to be able to have it perform um, for you. As far as the coating, it's a combination of not only the fabric but also I like to call it an invisible coating that's on the mouse pad that gives it. Okay, no water poured on it yet, so I think you'll see that later. But of what it looks like when any kind of liquid hits the pad.
Yeah.
Thought you were gonna say you guys use like chinchilla skin or something like that, but that's
Oh God, no. But
yeah,
the
no.
Elite does have a nano knit fabric versus the regular Zone, which is a woven fabric. So just that little detail also helps differentiate the textures of the surface.
So I actually have a Zone Elite right here. So I kind of want to show people like the optimize for speed and the spill resistant. I didn't understand optimize for speed at first. Like what Ivan said, I was like, what do you mean by this? And as Jason kind of described it, like before, most of the time, whenever you throw a mouse on, it will just you just kind of just let it happen. But if you guys can see the mouse, I know it's a black on black, but it literally like glides. Like it actually almost
Oh
fell off the
God.
thing.
You almost lost
I
it.
almost lost it. And I also want to show off the spillers inside some water here. I'm gonna pour some water on. Oh, it just fell off my thing,
Don't do
Oh
it, Mike.
wow.
look at the. Can you
Oh,
see the bubbles and everything?
they're moving.
Yeah, look. And I'm just and look, it all collected right here in the
You
center.
can pour it back into your bottle.
Oh,
Yeah,
gross.
drink it.
So
But
clean.
Order that.
and now it's good. Like mouse, I'll show on the main screen. Mouse looks
All right.
good.
This podcast is officially over. That gross, Mike.
Yeah, nasty.
All right, we do have some community questions that I do want to ask, but before I ask those questions, I do want to go over the prices of everything and let everyone know where they can buy them. So, Jason, what are the prices?
Yeah. So on the keyboard, so Function Elite Mini TKL, that's going to be $199. On the Lift Elite, it's going to be $79.99. The Capsule Elite is going to be $89.99. And then I'll need some help on the mouse pads because they range from all
Everything.
different costs from I think $14.99 up into the $50 range, depending on size and version you're looking at.
And if you guys want promo codes, ping Retso in the chat. He hoards them all. All right, community questions here. The first one is from Sage the Plug. Is a mini TKL just a 65% keyboard?
It's got more keys, but it's going to be in a similar. It's going to be a similar form factor. It'll be a little bit larger than that size, but it definitely has more keys. Again, same number of keys as a TKL, but smaller in the physical footprint on your desk.
Yeah, it's actually amazing the amount of keys that are on this, this keyboard, to be honest. when you look at the size and you realize the amount of keys on there, it's kind of mind-boggling how that works.
I like that. It's kind of a 75% keyboard because it has all the function keys. So I'm looking at all the 65%
Exactly.
on. It doesn't have any of the function keys. So, which
And we've
I use
optimized
a lot.
space.
There's like
Sometimes I
87 keys.
yeah. Sometimes I get asked to like I know we all know this, but it's like, did you guys shrink any of the keys to make it smaller in that form factor? And it's no, it's the physically same size keycaps, same size switches. We just optimize the space in a more compact configuration.
Yeah. Next question is a two-parter from XPeoPleX. All right, first part. I have a Death Adder V3 Pro. What does long-term battery life look like? A battery degradation look like on this mouse?
With lithium batteries, it can happen, but it's going to be nowhere near what you can potentially see that in say like a car electric battery or something in your cell phone. It's you're really not going to see much. Maybe you're going to see a few percentages. Over the lifetime of the mouse. Uh, you know, I don't have any um, thorough long-term testing, but what I've seen, it's usually going to be in the digits over the lifespan of the mouse.
All right, second part of the question from XPeoPleX. Does the bottom of this mouse have a sticky bottom or a rubber bottom? Or a mouse pad, actually. Does the
For the
bottom of the
zone,
mouse pad have a sticky bottom or a rubber bottom?
for the zone, it is a little bit sticky, so the zone will stick to your desk pretty well. But for the zone elite, it's a little more. You can definitely move it around if you tug it, so it's not as adhesive as the regular zone. But that's good for portability. Like it won't move while you're playing though.
All right, next question from Simo62bit. Will we get a list of mic arms that are compatible with the Capsule Elite? I would love to buy one, but I need to make sure I can use it the way I prefer.
So we don't have a list of compatible boom arms that will work with it because they all should work with it. So we use a standard thread in the little, I guess you would call it the pole that comes from the microphone, and within that is a standard 3/8 thread, female. So any uh, nearly all boom arms out there are either 3/8 are either 5/8 or 3/8, and they come with that adapter. So it will work on I don't want to say everything because there could be something out there somewhere, but it's a standard 3/8 input. And if you have like a random old boom arm, you could pick up an adapter extremely cheap to whatever your thread is on Amazon as well.
Next question from Little Pig Boy. That's probably the best username I've ever heard in my life. In your opinion, where's the best place to put this microphone? Is there an optimal distance?
There's gonna be a lot of flexibility of where you can put it. Um, you know, you definitely if it's on a boom arm, it's gonna be optimized to at least be 12 inches away from where you're speaking from, and then on a desk standpoint, uh, when it's on the stand, I would say keep it no more than 2 feet away, and always aiming directly at where the audible noise is coming from.
I also want to point out that you can rotate it. So I have mine sideways, like, but I can definitely rotate it like upright. But I don't like that, so I keep it sideways on my desk. So perfect use case for that.
Yeah, I have mine to like an angle because I don't like it completely straight up either, but I also don't want it like this. So I have mine at
Wow,
like an
okay.
angle instead. I feel more
And
professional like this.
That's kind of cool.
I also want to mention, right, with a polar pattern, it's cardioid. So what that means is you want to have it in front of you. And, there are, a lot of microphones out there that have different polar patterns that can basically do everything, but it can't do one thing extremely well, right? So we wanted to focus in on, Janice, this is for everybody, right? This is for gaming, this is for streaming. This is not a mic to put in the middle of a conference room and have 20 people around in a circle talk. That's not what this is designed for. So we locked in specifically for how it's in front of all of us right now.
What kind of room would have 20 people sitting in a circle? Okay, to a
Who
microphone.
could have a place like that?
Sounds like some sort of devil worshipping or something. All right. Last community question here from Rurutu. Can I throw the Zone and Zone Elite in the washing machine?
No, you cannot. That will damage it. We actually have a care guide on our PDPs. If you look at the bottom in the FAQ section, we have a very thorough care guide. There are certain things you want to watch out for our mouse pads, like do not use a lint roller. It will damage the coating. But again, it's very spill resistant, very easy to clean. I have cats, so I'm always brushing off the fur off of the mouse pads. Some of it is a little bit more stubborn, but in general, it does brush off very well. But yeah, the care instructions are open right now. It's very detailed. Make sure you follow it, and your mouse pad will be great.
I lied. We got one more question in the chat, and I'm gonna ask it because it's from our good friend PNW Tech. If you're not following them on Instagram, you're missing out. They have probably the coolest setup I've ever seen in my life. So PNW Tech. They ask, are there any plans to add other components to the function Mini TKL to be modded? Things like different switches, stabilizers, and plates.
Not at this time. So we've developed it in a way that it's just made to optimize every single component for our keyboard, but it's not designed or made to customize and add on items.
Thank you. That was it. Thank you both for joining this podcast. Is there anything you'd like to tell people before Mike goes into the announcements and gives everyone the secret word of the day?
Yeah, I'll throw it out there. Like, Mike's had the website up. I know, scrolling through it, definitely go to nzxt.com and check out the products and learn all about them. There's some really good FAQs on the bottom of the pages as well. And we're going to be releasing some blogs. There's one out there right now. But Janice and team have a lot of fun, informative blogs that are going to be out there. And if you think it's something that you need, go ahead and click that add it to cart button. We'd greatly appreciate it. And also, the products are going to be available at some of our partners in the U.S. like Amazon, Micro Center, Best Buy. So it's going to be widely available. So whatever your preferred platform to purchase is, it should be there.
Janice, how about you? Last word.
Try out our products. They come in black and white, so they fit any setup. I personally have everything in white, and then my boyfriend has everything in black. They're both amazing. We use it all the time, so I can definitely guarantee that we tested it, and it's very durable. It plays great, and you guys will love it.
Thank you, Janice. All right, Mike, take it away.
Okay, well, I have Zelda with me, so we'll do
Yeah.
announcements together. Like we said, thank you for licking my mic. Like I said, we have the Function Elite, Lift Elite, Capsule Elite, Zone, and Zone Elite available on our website now. You can do !egg in chat, or you can go to nzxt.com for more info. Let's see. Oh, we have our 5000 series PCs available. We have the 5080 right now. We're still waiting on 5090s, but the 5080 is available at nzxt.com. Join the NZXT club. Huge. Ivan's been working very, very hard on this. So first join our Discord, discord.gg/NZXT, and you guys can complete quests, earn Poochie points, which you can use to unlock rewards. We do giveaways for these things. So like you can get Poochie plush, you can get Steam gift cards, you can even get some NZXT stuff as well. So maybe we'll throw in some new Elite gaming gear in the next giveaway. Maybe.
Yes, also one quick thing. I know there's people in the chat here who are saying that the Twitch quest is stuck. I apologize. This is the first time we actually connected the club bot to Twitch. So we did expect technical difficulties. Don't worry. You will get your points. Just go into the club testers channel and the homie Spencer here will help fix this. So sorry about that.
Yeah, and just do nzxt.co/club or !club in chat. Join it. It's free stuff and it's also pretty awesome. Let's see. I think that's it. Do I have anything else before I give out the secret code word?
No, just want to thank everyone for tuning in live. Thank Jason and Janice one more time. Also, big shout out to Rudy, our new mod here in the chat, who did a very good job today. Thank y'all.
Alrighty. Alright, so everyone here, just letting you guys know, we do have a giveaway going on right now. You guys can win a whole Elite gaming gear bundle. So if you guys click that link, nzxt.co/free-egg. Is it -free-egg? Just double check.
Free egg.
Free egg. There it is. Yeah, you guys can win a Elite gaming gear bundle. You guys can win a Function Elite mini TKO keyboard, Lift Elite wireless mouse, Capsule Elite microphone, and a Zone Elite mousepad. We'll also ask you guys the colors and everything like that after. So sign up and we'll choose 3 winners. But the thing that people are waiting on is that there is a secret code word that gives you guys lots of entries into winning this thing. That is our way of saying thank you guys for joining us live, and thank you Jason and Janice also for joining us on the podcast to explain all these products and go through all this stuff. So yes, !point code, go ahead and get that ready. I'll pull up the code word right now. So as you know, Elite gaming gear is egg, and we've been making a lot of egg puns. I couldn't think of an actual egg pun to make, so I just did excellent pun as a way to do it. Thank you, Ivan, for the air horn. Excellent pun, EGGCELENTPUN is the code word. So that is our way of saying thank you guys for joining us live. Thank you to Jason and Jans for joining us today. And our way of saying thank you guys and good luck to the podcast. Thank you guys for joining us live. And remember, tune in on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the official NZXT Twitch. And don't forget to listen to previous episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Got any question for us? Send an email to podcast@nzxt.com or tag @nzxt on social media platforms. Good luck, everyone, on the giveaway. And we'll see you guys soon.